Molly, very good to have you on here. So good to finally see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we've been trying to coordinate this, and now the day has come. The hour has come
It's
as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, when we were initially trying to set this up, though, you were on tour.
Yes.
You-
Yeah, I just got back. We got back on Tuesday and played our last show in LA on Wednesday.
I think that's a good day for a LA show Wednesday.
Yeah, it felt great. It was definitely the best show on tour, and it was really nice.
Wow. Did you know that you wanted to end the tour in LA and not begin it in LA, or did it just kind of happen like that?
I think, well, we sort of half my band is in Austin, where I used to live. So I feel like it made sense to end in LA because we live here now. But I don't want to start with like the most, the higher pressure shows. You gotta work your way up. So I do usually like to like start with the East Coast and on the West Coast. I feel like that's what we usually do. But it was just a great ending, I thought. Yeah.
I saw that somebody during that last show proposed to
Okay.
someone else at the
Yes, but it wasn't marriage. It was it was just like official girlfriend. But he wrote me on TikTok and was like, I really want to ask my girlfriend or the girl I've been dating to like officially be my girlfriend. And so I was just trying to help him out and in that surprise her.
very nice of you to let that happen.
Of course. I mean, it would have been more fun if it was a proposal of marriage, but it was
Next
kind of,
time, next tour,
yeah, yeah.
that's what you're looking out for.
Hmm.
So people who are trying to get married, hit up Molly.
Yeah.
She's down to you're an officiate, right? To weddings.
I'm not, but I would be.
Okay.
And yeah, I definitely yeah, I'm down to coordinate. We had a whole plan. He dropped off flowers. I got them delivered to us. We had them on stage. You know, we're down.
Is that one of the weird things that's happened while on tour?
Like like while we were playing or just on tour.
While on tour, not while
Oh no.
playing.
Every day is so weird on tour. You meet very weird people and it's such an adventure. But that's never happened before when we were playing so much. Yeah.
So it's the first time for everything.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy touring?
I do and I don't. I have a love-hate. I've always had a love-hate relationship with it. There's a lot of things that I love about it. I really like the structure of it. I like just working really hard in a short amount of time and then being able to relax. Like it just feels very productive no matter what it is. You're just like, and I tour manage most of my tours. So I'm like very, I don't know, that I like, or just being busy and um, it's almost just like it feels like um, a little time away from real life. Um, so I always like that feeling of like, oh, I'll deal with that stuff when I'm home. But now I can't even think about it because I'm doing this. I like that part of it. And I do love playing live. I love like meeting fans and sweet people at shows. And there's other stuff, it could be really stressful. It's really exhausting. I think since 2020, it's just been a lot harder. I mean, there's so much I think that people are still trying to figure out since 2020. Like I do think it's like harder to market shows both for the musician and venues and everything. It's just everything is a lot has changed and a lot has gotten harder. So all of that stuff is really stressful and I don't like that about touring. And but again, just total love-hate relationship with it.
Has anything changed that's gotten easier to do a certain aspect, getting something done for a tour?
I think what's gotten easier is um I've learned how to like deal with stress better. So I think in that way that's kind of cool because I do think it's like such a crash course in a lot of things. I mean, you're like I do feel like I get more introverted as I get older, so I'm like being around people 24/7 like that. That's really hard. So I think but I do feel like I'm able to handle stress better, which is cool.
That's always good. That's a plus.
Yeah, I feel like, I think and like I feel less like hot-headed, yeah, with like certain things that I can't control. I feel like it would really bother me before, but with experience and just um I felt like just yeah, a little bit more level-headed this tour. Um Also we brought our dog this tour, which made it so much better. Like in so many ways, I feel like just having him was like amazing for my mental health, and everyone in the band and crew loved him so much. And then um I also think like sometimes entering a venue can be a little stressful, like depending on a bunch of things, but having him was like this really nice icebreaker, I think, and made a lot of people happy, I hope. He's a rescue dog. He's a stray, and like I think he just doesn't trust people immediately, so he has to suss them out. But then he's like such a lover. Yeah.
Smart, smart. You got
Yeah.
to suss people out. That's just, you got to do it.
Yeah.
It's just one of the aspects that has to be done. There's no way around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get a read on people. How do you feel when like when a tour ends like this? Like how are you feeling right now post this big tour?
I feel really good. I'm just very tired. I think when we first started touring, I'd get like post-tour depression, because you're just constantly doing stuff, and then you get home and you're just like, there's so much like silence, you're alone. Now I really appreciate it, and um, just yeah, I really was ready for it to be done, and um, yeah, I'm just so happy to be in my own bed, and um, yeah, I'm happy.
I believe you. I do. I'm on your side. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
And this tour was brought on, but with the release of the newest album, right? Daydreamer.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an interesting way of just all right, put it out and then we're following a tour right after that. Have you ever done anything like that?
Oh yeah, that's what we would always do before 2020. We would, put out, well, I guess it was different for my first album because I was so new that I wasn't headlining tours yet. I was just kind of hopping on support tours for my first one. But yeah, the second one, I look back on that and it's like crazy. We did, to me that just feels so pre-pandemic. We did like a huge US tour, and then immediately went to Europe and did like a month there. Um, and then with my third album, we weren't able to tour right after that because it was during 2021. So that was like, um, yeah, like I really like being able to put out an album and then immediately tour. Um, yeah.
Was the first show, did that correlate with the release date of
Mhm.
the wow.
Yeah, we were in Austin for like a week and a half before it came out, and the week of the release we just did a bunch of things like at record stores and stuff, and then the day it came out we played our record release show in Austin. Mhm.
I think that's a good place to start as well. I'm not saying that you have to start in the East. Let me rephrase myself. I don't
No,
want
this
to.
is great. I think it was good. I mean, we just recently moved to LA, so still feels like a hometown vibe there, and except it was so hot when we were playing outside, and like it was too hot, but I loved starting there. It's more I don't feel as much anxiety um with Texas shows, but it was nice. Yeah.
Do you face anxiety usually, or has it tapered off?
The anxiety is definitely tapered off, but I always feel like a little bit jittery in New York and LA, um big big cities. But it wasn't so bad. We had a lovely show in New York. Everyone like it's really makes a difference for me when like the venue is so lovely and accommodating and welcoming, and Okay. And we I definitely felt that then, and yeah, it's been it's been sweet. Hmm.
Do you feel like places like Austin, for instance, is becoming another big city
I
and
mean,
kind of
I've
reaching that?
always seen it that way. I've always felt, like I put out a Christmas album in 2019 and we didn't do a full tour. We just played Austin, LA, and New York. Like to me, those are the three, but I think I'm biased because I live there. Um, yeah.
And
Mhm.
you're originally from Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, I grew up in LA proper, like on the west side, and but I graduated high school at 17 and then haven't lived in LA since this past January. So I just never, yeah, it's my first time living here as an adult.
What brought you back?
I think so. I was never like super interested in living here coming back. I spent my first year of college in at Sarah Lawrence in upstate New York. And then I transferred to a college in Asheville, just a university there. Um, and then went to Austin. I think I was just always drawn to like smaller, you know, cozier, slow paced cities. I loved Austin when I moved there. Like took a second to like really acclimate, but then once I did, I feel like it was just so great for so long. And then I think once the pandemic hit, when we were really locked down and not touring, um, my boyfriend and I, who who tours with me, we were kind of just like, okay, our rent keeps going up. Like, is it, we're sort of just feeling like we needed a change. And Austin is getting more expensive, not as expensive as LA, but like we used to live in these like we used to have great deals for rent, so it felt so since we weren't getting that anymore, we were like, maybe we should just try going back. And just so many of our friends had moved here and my family's out here, some of my family, and then our cat died, and I think that really was like a catalyst where like we got to get out of here. Like I don't know, we didn't want to stay in our house. So yeah, I think we just needed to change. I'd almost been in Austin for about 10 years.
Wow, it's a good amount of time.
Yeah,
Did you start making music in Austin?
pretty much. I started writing in Austin, but fully by myself. I had a band in college, and we would sort of write. We would like collaborate and stuff, but um, I started really focusing just on like writing and thinking of myself as a solo artist and building a band and recording. That all started in Austin. Yeah.
Oh wow. So
Mhm.
that's like your hometown. LA is not anymore.
No, I feel
You
both. I feel
said
very
fuck it, I'm
content.
moving to Austin. I don't care about LA.
No, I feel both. I mean, I think it's interesting, like coming back to, it's just, I think coming back from tour, I was like, oh, it really does feel like home here now. And it's just lovely. I haven't lived the same place as my family in so long. Um, so that's also really, really nice. And yeah, yeah, it's been a nice change.
And you went to college to study vocal jazz, right?
Yeah, I went for jazz vocal performance. That was my major. And then um yeah, so I mostly studied music, like theory and history and all of that. Production. Yeah.
And then from there you moved to Austin to pursue music.
Yeah, pretty much. I spent a year after um graduating in Asheville, and then I moved to Austin kind of like in this, you know, I met a guy, followed him, didn't know anyone in Austin, just like it's pretty brave move, I guess. And so I think it would took me about a year and a half to really like start to um really like it and meet people and all that.
Wow. What were you doing in the meantime besides music while living there?
I was babysitting. I was trying to figure out if this relationship was working and it didn't. And what else? I mean, yeah, I feel like the very, very beginning, I was spending a lot of time with him, and then also just like babysitting. Trying to think if I had another job at that point. Um, Maybe I did. And I also worked at like I did like after school programs with like at public schools in around Austin. And yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's
Watch
a
TV.
good amount of stuff to be doing in the
Yeah.
meantime. Now I read something along the lines of that you were always interested in singing but never in songwriting, right? Or it didn't come until later.
Hmm.
Do you recall what the spark was to be like, okay, nah, I'm gonna try my hand at this?
Yeah, I think I just didn't want to try because I felt insecure. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I didn't know how to play any instruments. I, I don't know. I just was like too insecure to try. But then when I moved to Austin, I was like, okay, like I really want to try to pursue this, and I don't have anyone to lean on. So like I'm gonna try to write songs. And I just started with like, I could like play the ukulele. So I just like would transpose that to a guitar. And like I feel like my first songs were like very simplistic and in chord progressions and all that. But so yeah, I think I like started with, yeah, just feeling like I just like had to if I wanted to pursue this, and I'm glad I did. And I feel like I've learned a lot since then, and now I do like consider myself a songwriter. And but yeah, it's funny how much I feel like it took me to like the third album to feel that way or something, like even putting out albums that I wrote, I still was like insecure about it. Yeah.
How did you end up overcoming that feeling of insecurity?
I don't know. I think I've like always just been really like I've always been super, super insecure. I still am, but also I still have this like drive that's always, I don't know, just some voice in my head that's like, well, you have to do it. You just have to get over it. And I think just with everything, touring, all the things, it's like the more you do it, the less scary it is, or, the more um you get used to it. I think like so after my second album, that's when I did my Christmas album, and those are mostly covers. So I think that was like really inspiring for me because I felt freer in the studio because I wasn't like over analyzing like because they were covers. So I was like, oh, this feels like better and feel like I'm singing more like myself. I'm like experimenting with different things. And yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt a freedom of like, oh, okay, I guess should just do whatever I want. And not like anyone was pressuring me not to do that, but I just like was like, I don't know, it changed something in me. And I feel like I had more fun songwriting and experimenting with different instruments and all that. I
So that was a major turning point, that album.
think so. Yeah. My first two were so close together, I almost see them as one. Like that, just that time period was just like 2016 to 2018, right? Just they were so back to back. So yeah.
I like it. I like it, Molly. I'm with you. When did you start putting a band together for this, for or at least the initial band for this project?
It was, I think it was 20, either 14 or 15. I kind of just like, was trying to play with different people in Austin. Just, like the goal was to just like book a show. And that was like the most exciting thing. But the real, like the band that was recorded my first album was my current boyfriend who he had moved to Austin because we got back together, and he moved to Austin, and we started playing together. So it was him, my roommate at the time. Her name was Katie Schaefer, who now lives in LA, and we're just as close. So that's nice. And our friend Nacho. So that was like the four of us I wasn't signed to a label. I was working 3 jobs, and I like saved like $2,000, booked a studio for one day, and we recorded like the whole album. And that's my first album. And I think what happened with the band is like, because it is like my name and my I like write the songs. I realized quickly on like, okay, well, I can't really have like a set band. I can't like ask people to like, you know, just I don't know. I was like figuring out, oh, okay, this isn't like a traditional band. It's more like my music, and I have to like hire people. So that was like a couple years of like confusion and kind of messiness. But then I think with my second album, that's when we found our current drummer, he's like, other than me and Daly, my guitarist, he's like the another constant, just because he's like we clicked so well, and like I just feel like, so it's basically like with the core three, and I'll like hire out bassists and or whatever makes sense for the tour. But he always records with us now. But yeah, it's changed a lot over the years, but you'll definitely always see Daly and Tom with me. Yeah.
Good deal. Are you playing guitar
No,
now, or
I used to. I'm pretty sure I recorded guitar in the first album, and I played it all throughout touring Please Be Mine, but then I stopped into my second album. I stopped playing guitar live. I'm not comfortable playing it, and I feel just more free performing, just singing. But then like some tours I'll like last tour last year, I like ended the set with just like an acoustic song. But again, I was like sweating down my back. I'm like, I sound so bad. Like I'm just so insecure while playing it. So I like to avoid that. I kind of like to just write the songs and then give them to better players to play. I do miss it sometimes. I like it. I like the look of it. Like visually, it's fun. But I'm a nail biter, so I started getting like acrylic nails. Couple, I guess 5 years ago. I don't know, and so I can't really play guitar with these. So that's always like the question. I'm like, do I not get acrylic nails and I can play guitar? I don't know.
that is the true musician's dilemma there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Uh, going back to the first album, Please Be Mine. That was the first one, right?
Mhm.
How long had those songs been in in your orbit before kind of putting them down finally on that record?
I think probably, let me think, probably a year and like we or so, and we were just a year and a half, and we were just like playing around Austin as much as we could. Um, and I think that's like, I really like cherish that time because it is such a like sweet city where I don't know, you can just play a bunch, and then you meet more people and you just go to your friends' shows, and um that was a really special time, I think, and to just sort of figure out the songs and how it felt to play live and all of that. Um but yeah, I think they've been around for like about a year and a half.
In what year are we talking about that this was recorded?
I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure we recorded in 2015. It was 2014 or 15 that I wrote them. We recorded 2015 or 2016. I'm forgetting. And then once I mastered them, I sent them around to labels and signed with Capture Tracks in 2016. And we put it out in 2017. Yeah.
The first album.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so you've been with them since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
How familiar were you with Captured Tracks before kind of joining
I
the
was not
label?
familiar. I wasn't familiar with really any labels. And I just kind of, yeah. So we basically recorded, I'm trying to think now. I think it was 8 songs that we recorded in that day. and I got those mixed and mastered, and then made a private SoundCloud, and then sent those out, just cold emails to just any label that I could, like, just all the indie labels. And I remember hearing back from a really small label in Birmingham that I don't know exists anymore. I'm not sure. They were so sweet. And then the only other one I heard from was Capture Tracks, and I wasn't like super familiar with them. I really liked Mac DeMarco, and then I looked. I think I was like drawn to their demo submission portion of their website, because it was like they were like, we do listen to demos. They liked signing new artists. So whereas I feel like other labels weren't like some, yeah, I don't know, no one else got back to me. And yeah, at the time I think that their roster, I wasn't so familiar with, like, I don't know, like dream synth pop, which is funny because now I feel like that's kind of like my last album. But I I think the only one I knew really was Mac DeMarco, and I didn't feel like I fit in the roster. Like I was like, I don't see anyone that's super like me, which I liked.
I read on your website that the first album, you were motivated by the hourly rate.
Hmm.
And because I mean, I now that we touched upon it a little bit earlier, that you recorded everything in one day.
Pretty much. We did. So what happened was we did all the songs live in one day. I think we did. I came back. It was probably a day and a half, and that's because the half day was like a few overdubs, like maybe some keys or something. But um, for the most part, like it was all live, even vocals, which is like crazy to think about now because I'm so like now I'm would never want to do that. I guess I would, but not for like if it was like a live album or something. Like I just wouldn't want to. I'm more picky. Um, but yeah, so then once I signed with Capture Tracks, they wanted me to add a couple songs to the 8. So we went back in the studio for, I mean, I'm sure it was like the same, like day and a half or something, but we just recorded a couple more songs.
The circumstances like that tend to still motivate or inspire the albums that you're putting out?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, even now it's like I don't have like unlimited time in the studio. It's still like, a specific time. I liked this last one because Jack, who produced it, we did a lot of remote work, and I like that because that kind of just you get to sit with it longer. Um, I mean, I think in an ideal world, I would have I would love to be able to like know how to record well myself and just take, all the time in the world. Um, but yeah, I think sometimes that's definitely a motivator, and like I definitely feel like, I am an artist, but I also feel pretty type A, and like I think that's why I can like tour manage, where I I don't know, sometimes I enjoy it, but sometimes it's stressful to have such a time constraint, but it can definitely feel like a motivator sometimes.
Do you feel like you would eventually hit a wall if you had a limited amount of time?
I don't know. I think I used to feel like that, but maybe that was just capitalism getting in my brain. I think now I'd rather, I mean, I look up to Jack Tatum so much because he's a producer and he, records this himself. And like, that just seems so nice to know how to do that. And so well, and same with the band Tennis, who they produced our third record, and we're really close with them. Like they also record themselves, and like just I look up to that.
What tends to kind of spark your creativity with music?
I don't know. I think I used to give myself more like I felt like I was more in a schedule of, okay, well, we put out the first album, we're going to tour as much as possible. Then I'll take the time to write the second album. Like I wish I wouldn't think about it unless it was the designated time, I think. Um, and I don't know, the first album, it's like I think that was like more pure because I just didn't know anyone would like hear the songs ever. And the creative inspiration was like my breakup with my now boyfriend. Like, we weren't together at the time. And like, I feel like I was feeling lots of regret and loneliness being in this like new city. And like, so I kind of just put all that into those songs. Um, I just think it's been different for like every album. And I think this was the first album that I wrote like during like where I kind of just everything was blended together. Like I was like putting out the last album, but then also writing this album. And because I just had so much time on my hands because we were just in the middle of like, you know, pandemic stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's different every time. I'm not one of those people that really like forces myself to write. Um so it's sort of just like if I'm in the mood or yeah, I like to just sort of write what I'm feeling in the present day, kind of, or yeah, I don't know. With this album, I like wrote a lot of songs thinking about my 13-year-old self or in the past. Yeah.
When did for this newest album, Daydreamer, when did the album title come into mind? Does that happen within the process of writing these songs or afterwards or before?
I think I've always titled my albums after, except maybe the Christmas album. I think I always wanted that to be the Molly Burch Christmas album. But this I always wait till they're done, mixed, mastered, I think, or maybe this at least mixed and I can listen to them through and then figure out. Um and I think this title, I liked that the first song, Made of Glass, I talk about daydreaming when I was, a kid and just like trying to like figure out these like big dreams that I had of being a musician. And I thought it was just a nice title because the whole album is sort of about my relationship with music and like having these big dreams and I just feel like I've always just been that type of person even now to like who daydreams and has I don't know, just like uses that to help me figure out life, I guess. I don't
I
know.
like it. I like it. I'm with you, Molly. I'm backing you on this. Yes. I'm
Thank,
co-signing that.
thank
Love it.
you.
Um with this kind of tour that we talked about in the beginning half of this,
Mhm.
were you performing was most of the set list kind of these songs from this most recent album?
Yes, we did 9 out of the 10, and then I just picked.
That's a good amount. I would
Yeah,
say. Yeah.
there is one that's just so heavy with horns, and it just felt really hard to do that live for this tour. And then I did, some ones I know that are like fan favorites or that we like playing. And then we ended each set with it's just Daly and I playing like an older song that an audience member would pick. And that was kind of sweet.
It's good. And you pass around a bowl with
Yeah.
it's like write it down and
No,
then
we
when the
did I
bowl
did
gets
like
back up here.
an Instagram giveaway thing. So I just picked someone, gave them free tickets and then played the song they chose. Unless I was like, some nights I forgot, and then some nights I was like, wait, pick another song. Tried to pick like 6 so we could repeat and not have to like relearn like 20 new songs.
Yeah. I can understand why that'd be a little bit difficult. You go, that's not, yeah, we don't do that one anymore.
Yeah.
Pick another one,
Yeah.
buddy. Was it kind of the first time taking these songs on a tour outside of where they were originally written?
Which ones? The new album?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think so, yeah. I played one of them acoustically, or acoustic,
I like
on guitar.
I'm
I
with
was
you
like,
on
is
like
that a term? Is that a word?
acoustically. I
So
like it. It is now. It is now. You just made up
um
a word. That's good.
yeah, when we toured in 2020, when I had the guitar, I played the last song on the record called Bed. I played that live, and because I always think it's kind of fun to like play new songs, and but other than that, all the other songs, that was our first time playing them live.
How do you feel when you're in that situation of like, all right, these are new songs and we're putting them into the set list. Well, how do you feel about kind of before the first show of that process?
It's exciting, and I'm like, I hate practicing. I'm just like, I get bored. So it's like always fun when it's like a new songs, but now they feel old, now I'm like, okay, we did it. But when like a month ago, they felt new, and it was exciting to play them. Yeah.
Yeah, does it change every, or does your feelings towards the song, at least the newness, if you will, and I don't even know if that's a word, so I'm with you on the acoustic is ism or however you said it.
Mhm.
Um, does the feeling of these newer songs kind of change each time you play them and you get either more familiar with them
I think so,
or
but I don't know,
unfamiliar
like
with them?
one of the like,
I don't know.
yeah, the oldest song, like Please Be Mine, which is the song we've just continued to play that all these years, and I still love doing it, and it's like really evolved over the years of like tempo or like daily solos. It's fun. I still just love, that's how we ended our set this tour, and it's just so fun. So there can be, I guess it's not totally about newness, and because some older songs I really love to play, and some of the songs that the audience members picked for this tour was really like fun to revisit them. But I don't know. Yeah.
When this out, because when did you start it? The October? No, I'm sorry, not October. It ended in October. When did this tour begin?
It began, so the album came out September 29th, and that was our first show.
How was it kind of starting a tour with the on the exact same day that the album came out? How did you feel about that?
I love doing that. We did have a hectic week in Austin because I just booked something or multiple things every day, like radio and um record shop things, but it was really sweet. Yeah, it was good.
It sounds good.
Thanks.
Do you feel like with each place you played on, let's take this last tour for instance, that people are reacting differently to each song, or is it generally like the vibe is kind of the same of each time you
Hmm.
played these songs?
I think you could like, I don't know, you can get a sense of like what, like certain songs that are more popular or something. I don't know. It's hard because they're all so new, but I think I, it felt nice to like feel like people had already listened to the album and knew the words and stuff. So that was always nice. Um, yeah.
Has anything changed from the first release of Please Be Mine to this most recent one?
So much has changed since 2020. So I don't know. I just see such a harsh line of like pre 2020 and post 2020. Yeah, I don't know. So much has changed just like in the music business and all of that. And I've gotten older and I've changed. Um, I think maybe like the just a simple answer would be that the music that I've made has changed. Like it sounds a lot different, I think, but I hope that, you know, I don't know. I mean, like sonically, it's like, and production wise, it's like a bit cleaner and more synthy, more instruments, more, it's definitely a different vibe, and but I also feel like it's still very much me, and I wanted to, I don't know, make like a healthy mix of like ballads and more upbeat songs for this record. My first album is pretty much like more slower ballads and chiller upbeat songs. Um, I think that has probably been the biggest change. Mhm.
Do you look at these albums as being completely different from one another? Does it feel different to you both when it came out and looking back on it now?
Yeah, I mean, I said before, like I do sort of see the first two, like just kind of some like they're just so close together. But yeah, I feel like every album was different in, we recorded it with different people, different producers, different no, the last two were the same band members, but like Elena and Pat recorded on Romantic Images and Jack recorded on Daydreamer. So like, but yeah, every album I feel like has been different in a lot of ways. Um yeah, and just different feelings, and the world has been different, but yeah.
How do you feel about Daydreamer now that it's been out and that everybody is able to listen to it outside of the people who have worked on it and yourself, of course?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. I'm glad that I feel like all I care about is like whether my current fans like it, and I feel like they do. I put a lot of work into like um the album packaging, and that that feels fun, and like a good reception from them. And I'm just, yeah, I'm glad it's out. It just, this one was a long, took a, I don't know. I feel like this was like 2 years in the making or something. So it always feels like a relief, I think, once it's finally out. And yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it always in the back of your mind of how people are gonna perceive the music, or are you just like I'm gonna make the songs I want to make and hopefully people dig them?
I always think that, yeah, like I want to make what I want to make. But of course, it's like really nice when, you know, people that have liked your music in the past like embrace change, or like, get what you're doing, or, you know, yeah.
Do you feel like you have to explain it? Like, oh, hey, I'm going in a different direction, or it's like people will.
I think so. No. Yeah.
I don't think you should. By the way, if you're gonna ask me, I don't think that you should.
Yeah.
Do you look at albums when they're being made in different lights every time that something else happens, like from the writing process to like kind of hashing out these kind of flimsy ideas to making them more and bringing them into the studio and so forth? Does it always kind of change for you how you're looking at them?
Yeah, it really does.
What was your feeling while making this newest album?
I I did enjoy writing it, although I was like, I feel like some of the songs I was definitely in just like a bad place mentally. Um, but I did enjoy writing it, and I love working with Jack. So like once we started to like bounce ideas off each other, that was, you know, just so great. And um I think that's what I enjoyed the most, is like sharing the demos with him and then having him send back ideas, and just talking with him about it.
Yeah. What do you want people to take away from this album? What feeling do you want them to receive from this?
I think like I don't know. I've like I answered this question the same with every album. It's just I just love when people can relate to the feelings, and like, and just enjoy the music, and just, Yeah, I feel like that's something that I never expected to have in my life, is like strangers like liking the thing that I made and relating to it and have it maybe make them feel better. Like that's all that I care about. And that's what I want with putting out music.
Well said. Well said, Molly. Um, Molly, I really appreciate you coming on here. Thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I do appreciate it. But before I let you go, I got some promotional stuff to do.
Okay.
So, Daydreamer, the newest album of Molly's is out now.
Hmm.
And it's streaming everywhere, wherever you get your music. That's where you can find it, as well as these previous releases that we kind of talked about as well. That's everything's everywhere
Hmm.
all at once.
Yeah.
That's a good reference. Um, no, every all the albums, all the releases are everywhere, and you could buy Daydreamer through Captured Tracks,
Hmm.
right? Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
capturedtracks.com. Yeah.
We have signed copies on my web store on just go to mollybirchmusic.com. And yeah.
And the Hello merch as well,
Yeah.
right?
That's my web store.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
But you can get it through my website.
You can just,
You
yeah,
just go to
it'll be linked below all
yeah.
this, the merch.
You can link the
Um
Hello merch.
I'm
They're
I'm linking the Hello merch. So whatever you're listening to this on, that's where you could find it.
cool.
Below. And everybody can stay up to date with everything, news, shows, tours, all that good stuff by following you on Instagram. Is that the best place, right?
Hmm.
At Molly J Burch on Instagram. No underscores, no nothing, straight across.
Yeah.
And the your Bandcamp as well, right? That's a good place to
Yeah.
support you as
That's
well.
I think so. That's Capture Tracks runs that. But Hello Merch is the only place you can get signed vinyl. And just like I'm gonna put up some leftover tour merch soon. And my Christmas album is on there.
Lots of fun stuff coming out.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled for that stuff. Is there anything else you got to promote, Molly?
No, that's
All
it.
right. All right. Daydreamer out now. Go listen to it. Molly, thank you so much. I'm gonna
Thank you.
stop recording this and I'll talk
Okay.
to you in a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.